Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Oil Kings Nation. This is the post-game version between the Edmonton Oil Kings and the Kamloops Blazers on November 11th, 2025. Now before we get into today's content, I just want to say it was a heck of a game. If you didn't watch it, or if you listened to it on the radio, you would understand that it was an entertaining game, a very good game. I enjoyed it as a fan watching it. I watched the game on Victory Plus, which is a free streaming service where you can catch all the Oil Kings games for free, home and away. Let's get into the content. The first thing I want to talk about is the first period. I'm going to break this video down into segments: first period, second period, third period, my overall thoughts of the game and their next opponent on Friday night, which would be the second game in this BC swing of their road trip and their third out of 8 road games. Now in the first period, I noticed early on that the Blazers did dominate the Oil Kings. It was 2-0 early on into the game. And I don't think Edmonton really started to gain any traction in the game until probably about halfway through, a little bit over into the first period. What I really noticed was when Kamloops was up 2-0, we had that media timeout, and I think at that point Edmonton started to wake up a little bit. Whatever Jason Smith and the coaching staff said to the team during that media timeout at the bench seemed to have woke the team up. They ended up scoring a shorthanded goal to make it 2-1, and then they ended up being down 3-1 after the first period. So as a whole, that was the worst period of the game for Edmonton by far. They looked flat. They didn't really have any traction going. Even after they got that shorthanded goal, I still felt Kamloops was the better team in the first period. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for Ethan Simcoe and him making some timely saves, it probably would have been a lot worse. So that's the first period summary that I want to share in this video based on my observations watching the game on Victory Plus. Now, the second period, I thought Edmonton totally took the game over. We had a good power play. In the second period, we ended up going 2 for 2. And if you recall my previous video in the pregame content between the Oil Kings and the Blazers for today, I said Edmonton needed to be better on the special teams because Kamloops had a power play up near 30%. Edmonton's penalty kill was 90%. So something had to give, and Edmonton ended up winning the special teams battle today. Ended up going 2 for 2 on the power play. And they got 2 big goals on the power play, which I thought really changed the momentum of the game, really tilted the scales in Edmonton's favor after they got the game close, and then the power play, it seemed like they really got an extra jump when they were good on the power play. I also mentioned in my last video that the penalty kill had to be good. It was excellent today. They only gave up 1 goal on, I believe, 5 chances that Kamloops had, so they were 80% today, which is right around their average for the season of 90%. Another thing is, I noticed in the second period the puck movement was much better than it was in the first. The passing was crisper. They were skating better, faster. They ended up getting some more offensive zone time, better than they had in the first period. I want to give a shout out. This is usually the part of the video where I don't do a shout out. I save it to the beginning or the end of the video, but in this case, I want to give a shout out to number 8 of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Max Curran. He had a heck of a second period. He posted 3 points to continue rolling for the Oil Kings, and For those of you who don't know, he's a Colorado Avalanche draft pick. I don't believe he has signed his entry-level contract yet with the Avalanche, but he is a draft pick of theirs, and he has been absolutely phenomenal. 3 more points for him today. I believe his goal was a power play goal. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Max Curran. I also want to give a shout out to Lucas Sauchin. He also had a great game. He picked up a couple of points. A guy like Sauchin is a very unique player. He's one of those players who's short in stature, who can wiggle out of sticky situations. I noticed in this game, particularly Kamloops, a couple of their bigger defensemen had Sauchin in the corner, and he was slippery as an eel and was able to get out of there and set up great opportunities for the Oil Kings to capitalize on. So I just want to give him a shout out. He's a phenomenal player, and I personally hope to see Lucas in the NHL someday. I don't know which team is going to draft him, but that's what I hope. I also noticed in the second period that Simcoe made some timely saves, especially when Edmonton ended up going to a 3-3 tie. Kamloops, I thought, started to panic a little bit and maybe started to play a little bit harder. Simcoe made a couple of key saves, and without those key saves, I think Edmonton might have been in trouble, but Simcoe did his job and allowed Edmonton to come back and able to score. In the third period, it was kind of a lull. Edmonton ended up getting an empty netter in the last minute of the game, again by Landon Hansen. Great player, great move, fast player, and he's a veteran player, so I would expect a player like Landon Hansen to find that empty net. Going into the third, I don't think Edmonton needed to do much more than what they did in the second period. Parking the bus probably would have been a decent option for them, but I liked their third period. I thought they were good defensively. They kept Kamloops to the outside for the most part. I thought, again, the puck movement was good. They generated a lot of offensive zone time. And like Matt Barrett said, the more you have the puck, the less opportunity Kamloops has to score. And I thought Edmonton had the puck more in that third period. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the first, second, and third period. I just want to say my overall thoughts of the game. I think the Oil Kings were definitely the better team, basically from the second period onwards. I mentioned it earlier in the video. They skated better. The passing was crisp. They took advantage of their opportunities. And at the end of the day, they ended up winning the game. By the way, that win that we got today, Oil Kings remain red hot. And I mean hot, guys. They are 6 wins in a row. 6. If you would have told me earlier this season, even with a new coach, that they would win 6 in a row, 15-4-2 at this point of the season, I would have thought you were crazy. But you know what? Kudos to the team. They're gelling right now. They're red hot, the highest scoring team in the WHL. They are now 6 points up on Calgary for first in the Central Division. They are, get this, 9 points up on the defending WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers for first in the Central Division. Now, the next opponent, I'm going to just touch on this a little bit here. The next opponent for Edmonton is Victoria Royals on Friday, and then on the Saturday, they're going to be in Vancouver to play the Giants. 2 very good teams still, I think. By no means are any team in this league a pushover. I mean, record doesn't speak anything. It's this consistent play, I think, from teams. When you underestimate a team in any sport, you don't tend to play your game. So I think it's going to be important that Edmonton continues this momentum, continues to play well. They have been playing extremely well. Even in their losses this year, they have been very good in bouncing back. But I think the way this team is firing on all cylinders right now, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. I think, you know, they're 2-0 on this 8-game road trip, 1-0 on the BC portion of it. They have they're 8-3 on the road this year. So again, excellent team. You know, the theory in sports, for those of you who may not be much into like stats and watching videos and stuff like that, but for those of you who do, you would know that people always say if you go 500 on the road and are much better than that at home, the chances of you making the playoffs go up incredibly. And the Oil Kings right now are much better than 50% on the road, and they are definitely about 75% winning percentage at home. So numbers don't lie. If the team keeps playing the way they are, they're going to probably hit 40 wins, like I said before. So yeah, again, I just want to say, to wrap up this video here, I want to give a shout out to Mad Max, so Oil King fans call him, Max Curran. Terrific game, 3-point game. Lucas Sauchin had a great game as well, a couple of points. And Landon Hansen, great game for him as well. He had 2 goals, and led by example as an alternate captain. I also want to point out Joe Iginla. It seemed to me he had a little bit of extra jump in his step tonight. That could be because his father is a part owner of the Kamloops Blazers. So, you know, I thought he had a phenomenal game. He did score a goal, which was a very, very nice one. So a shout out to Joe. Excuse me. Another player I want to touch on just a little bit is the new player Gostick we got from the Kelowna Rockets. I know it's only been 1 game, guys, but I didn't like his game today, I'll be honest with you. He took too many penalties. He didn't really produce offensively. I didn't really notice him that much on the ice. Yeah, he was paired with Hansen on the ice, but I really didn't like his game. But then again, it's only been 1 game, so some of you might say, oh, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only played 1 game. Yeah, that's true, but as an outside observer from the first game that he's played in the lineup, I did not like his game. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll see, you know, the rest of this road trip per se, how he performs for the team. It's a new team, first game with a new team, so I understand all that. I get it. This is just my view. This is nothing proven statistically or what other people might think, but this is just what I think of him. I did not like his game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, guys, that'll do it for this video. Friday, Oil Kings, Victoria Royals, 8 o'clock, local time. Let's cheer the boys on for 7 straight wins. And before we go, I just want to let everyone know, get your tickets for the Teddy Bear Toss game, December 7th, versus the Prince Albert Raiders, Rogers Place, Edmonton, Alberta. Tickets are cheap, $20. I hope to see everyone there. Let's be better than we were last year, and let's fill that place, buy some teddy bears, and support a good cause. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.